Hi everyone, we are live. This is very, very exciting. If I could get you all here, as well as those of us online, hi.
Hi everyone.
If you could scan the QR code, this will give you an opportunity to pass some questions over to Adam or myself. And it is a way for you to immerse yourself in the experience of the insights, as well as experience the brilliant platform that we are able to participate in. I'm doing the clicker. So how we've come about today, it's all about accelerating participation in your loyalty program. So this is an event where we want to discuss, discover, and interactively demonstrate how we accelerate participation in loyalty programs. So after a conversation with Mike Capizzi in the US and Adam, we discovered that along the way of doing the CLMP course, the Academy, that gamification hasn't actually changed in 40 years. So that brought me to the question of, well, can we be a part of that change, trailblaze, and bring joy to loyalty, and as we like to refer to it, as Joyalty. So our gamification capabilities has over 50 different mechanics, and we can get this up in minutes, hours, not weeks or days. So what we help marketers do is to convert prospects into customers through lead gen, engage members and lapsed members to use your or re-engage with the loyalty program. We collect valuable market research and effectively measure ROI on partnerships, sponsorships, and media. So I think this is a true game changer for all marketing initiatives. So what better way than to actually explore this and bring Joyalty to life by inviting Adam to come and speak to me, and I wanted to discover how we can bring Joyalty to life through loyalty programs today. So it is with great pleasure that I introduce Adam to share the spotlight with me and take me through his latest report for Love or Money.
For love or money, or for love of money?
For love of money?
Not
Both.
of money, no. It's for love or money. I mean, what do you want, the money or the love?
Questionable, both.
Yeah. You want the love? You want the money? Money,
That's
money.
it,
And,
that's it.
and online, well, it's for love or money, so you choose. So thanks, Oz, for bringing me along the journey with you. And welcome everyone here live as well as online to today's little interactive session. And this is pretty live and it's also online, so it's amazing. So well done. And here we are.
Here we are. Okay. So tell us more about the report and where it's come from.
Okay. So For Love or Money started 11 years ago, 2013. I woke up one day and I was wondering, where are the insights on loyalty programs, and who are the consumers, and what do they care about, what don't they care about, what are their attitudes. So I thought, well, why not put out a study and try and understand their attitudes, what they don't like about loyalty programs. And so fast forward to today, we've done, I think, 17 studies, 16 Australia, New Zealand, 11 in Australia, and one B2B study. So one day, hopefully, to the marketers in the room and as well as the marketers online, I will be sending out a survey asking you as marketers, what do you think about the state of play for loyalty programs in Australia and New Zealand? But let's focus on the consumer study, because this is a consumer study.
That's right.
And it is independently commissioned with a research organisation, and it's got a sample size of 1,040 Australians over the age of 18, so 95% confidence level and a 3% margin of error for those of you who are into sample sizes. And it gives us a great sentiment across the population about what they think and feel. And that's a broad quota on screen of the population, so the researchers make sure we just get a broad cross-section. We do analyse the results across the genders, Always looking at the Zs, the Ys, the Xs, and the boomers, see what's going on in their worlds, as well as gender. But there's so many deep dives in the data, it actually could be crazy how much analysis can happen. So that's the background to the structure of the study.
Awesome. So let's have a look at loyalty is not a program. What is loyalty?
Okay, before we get into that, just a little bit of what's in this report. 125 pages for those who want to invest in it and sleep at night reading, or not go to sleep at night, or take the report to bed and look through 125 pages. It's pretty in-depth this year. In fact, my researchers said to me, you've got to start cutting stuff out, Adam. You can't put it all in there. It's crazy. And of the 9 sections, this first section, which we've chosen today to talk about, is loyalty is not a program. What is loyalty?
Yeah, so just a recap on that. So this report is the perception of loyalty from the customer's perspective. Okay, so I thought it'd be interesting to see what marketers were thinking, as well as the customers, and see how aligned we are. So if those of you online could scan the code that you're seeing on your screen, we will.
Before we jump into the poll, just give you a bit of a background to this question. So this question, we ask consumers their perception of loyalty to a brand. And when I say brand, generically. So not to a brand that might be in the room here or online. It's a generic question. So what I encourage you as marketers is to ask your customers, what do they think loyalty is to your brand? And there's 3 dimensions. We look at behavior loyalty. So that's a transactional connection. That is, do you spend more, purchase more often from a brand over the longer term with the competitor set? We look at belief loyalty, which is that emotional connection, that's that love, the trust, and the recommendation to others. And we look at belonging, which is a new dimension that I've put in, which is, how do they feel towards your purpose and your community, that connection. So behavior, belief, and belonging are the 3 dimensions.
Yeah.
And we ask them to give their perception of what they think loyalty to a brand is. And now we're going to do the poll and see
Yes.
what our group here and online might see.
All right, so we do have a delay, just letting you know online. There is about a 25 to 30 second delay of when you add your response into the poll. Looks like we already have some people online.
Yeah. So
And
we're sitting
let's have a
there
look in the
at
room.
47%
47?
on transactional or behavior loyalty.
Oh,
It's changing.
shifting,
Right,
yes,
it's going
we're
down
seeing
to.
some shifts.
I love that's live and interactive, Oz.
Yep,
Yep.
it's real time in the back
No, I
end.
love it.
49%.
We got love trust. Okay, we're getting more into transactional.
So,
Right.
sure, let's have a look.
So what do the consumers say? So 58% of the consumers in our study said loyalty to a brand is all about transaction. It's about money and that involvement around what I'm buying more and more often. And then it's about belief at 27, and then it's about that sense of belonging. So looking at the poll, we're not too far apart in terms of a little bit less on the money and more about the belief. But that's the point here, is what does loyalty mean to your brand from your consumer's point of view? And what you should ask them, is it about the transactional behavior? Is it about the belief? Or do you have the opportunity to build a community, and do they identify with your purpose?
Interesting. Okay. Next slide. Well, this one I found fascinating. Obviously, it's a hot topic and much debate in my household with a 27-year-old. So I thought it'd be interesting to see just how far people would go. So
yeah, before we do the poll, let me give you a
Set
little
the
bit of
scene.
a background on this one. So in 2016, I saw an article about people who were inking their bodies with brands. And, Harley Davidson and a few others who were so in love with the brand that for the rest of their lives, they'll see this brand on their body. And I thought, isn't that true loyalty? Isn't that cult? Isn't that what we all want? Now, not every brand will most probably have that love. However, I put that out to consumers and I said, but it was a loaded question. So the question was, if a brand gave you a lifetime discount or exclusive benefit, would you tattoo that brand logo or loyalty program on your body? So there's loaded. There is a part to that. It's not just put it on there because you love it, right? And we found, are we going to do the poll first before the results?
I think so. I think
right.
I'd love to see what everyone is thinking out there, Webland, as well as in the room, on whether would you tattoo your body with your favorite brand to get a lifetime return benefits.
Yep.
And we can see whether there
Okay,
is a difference. Shall we have a
wow,
look?
this
Wow.
sitting at 20%.
We're
yes.
keen in this room.
Wow, the online.
We're keen
and,
online.
Well, have you heard of, in research, Oz, have you heard of this, the concept called say-do gap?
No.
People say they'll do something, but will they actually do it? So, oh yeah, I'll put a tattoo, but will you actually do it? And that's the point here. So, yeah, look, research, we'll talk about that another time. But yeah, look at this. 80, 70, it's changing slightly.
Yeah, online's coming through now.
Right, maybe
So
we stop
22%.
there. Or if you want to keep it going.
Keep
I
it
don't
going.
mind.
Let's have a
Okay,
look.
so the result. So interestingly, 2016, 12% said yes, and the same result 7 years later, the same question, and 12% said yes. But yes is one thing. The next question we asked is, which brand? So now, that was even more interesting. Do you want to share some of those results? Yep,
yes,
there they are.
Here they are. Look at that. Look, you know what surprised me most, Adam? Was
Let's just have a look at some of them. Okay, which one surprised you most?
I think KFC outperforming Macca's. That surprised me. And what I thought typically would happen is Woolworths and Coles.
Oh, well, there you go, So we've got 14 tattoos out there for a lifetime discount at Woolies. And if Glenn Baker's watching, sorry, a call out to the world. I want to see your tattoo one day of Woolies on you, Glenn, when I meet you.
Awesome.
So yeah, fascinating. And there's several, it says there, several depends on the money. So, it was vague. We didn't say how much discount. Interesting, bit of fun, but also, there's something in that that people might go that far.
Cool. All right, so this, for me, was the highlight of the report. I must have read this section maybe 4 times over. This is about the new metric. Can you tell us more about it, Adam?
Yeah, okay. A lot of sleepless nights, should I say. This study, for those of you who have had the pleasure of looking at it for the last 11 years, is something that I look at every single year. And in fact, I've already started planning next year's. The point is that every year I was trying to identify for brands, specifically, not only strategy insights, but the question we asked the last few years is thinking of a loyalty program that you're a member of, who do you think is doing a very good job? An open question. And it's a good question, but doesn't really help. I don't think it helps enough to, why? What does very good job mean? And so we've been studying over the years the variables that make up a great loyalty program, a really successful one. And that is simple, personal, and valuable. SPV, I call it. I'll sing you a song called SPC, Baked Beans and Spaghetti, because it'll make you remember it, SPV. The essence of SPV, though, there's layers. So what does simple mean? What is simplicity? Simplicity is a whole range of things. Is it easy to understand? Is it easy to join? Is it easy to interact with, earn and redeem? Simplicity has a lot of layers. Personal has a lot of layers. It also is about personal comms, personal rewards, feeling special. And valuable has a lot of layers as well. What is value to you, and you is different to your program. But we've got to try and keep it generic and quite simple. So SPV are the fundamental layers to this index. And we first got consumers to, shall we say, rank the importance of a simple, personal, and valuable. Now, I guess the call out here to everyone there is you don't just want one of those, you want all 3. But we've needed a base weighting. And we calculated from the question that 65% of them said valuable is the most fundamental variable. Then it was a simple, and then it was personal. Back to my point earlier on around it's all 3, but this is how we started our weighting. We then went to them and said, so of these 68, and by the way, there were 68 programs we put forward, and if any of you didn't get your program onto the list, send me an email and we'll see what we can do next year. Although I had 113 to start, and I had to pull back. Unfortunately, my researcher said this survey will take 12 hours to finish. So we didn't go for more than what we could put into the study. So we then asked them to identify their memberships. And then the next stage was we asked them to rank 1 to 5 on each of the 3 variables. From 1, complex to 5, very simple. So on each of the 3 variables, they had to do a rating. And then we calculated the weighting of the memberships, of the base weighting, as well as the 5-point scale to get the SPVx index. So let me say to you, months with the analysts and the researcher to get to the index. The average score across all the programs, the target is 100. So could you get a 65, a 25, and a 10 to get 100 basis points? The average was 68.6 across all the programs. So most people want to see their brands and their programs up in lights, and the 68 programs are now in the report, and they're there in alphabetical order because my goal was not to create a comparisonitis and me versus this versus that, and this one versus that one. However, we all love our brands, we all love our programs, and we always compare as human beings. So comparison did happen, didn't it?
It did happen. You know what, I have to say, Adam, every year when your report came out, this was the one slide that we all put in our AOP to show off our ranking in terms of our loyalty programs. But I think the point you were making is that this is through a customer's lens, not from a business.
And not only that, this is strategic. So you want to see the brand up there and look at your score, and then what can you do about it? That's the question. What can you do about improving your simplicity, your personalization, and your value with your customers?
So there's always room for improvement.
Yes,
right?
there is.
So I'm keen to understand from a customer's perspective what they think.
Where can they improve? So back in, remind me, I think it was 2018, we asked this question. I'll have to check my numbers. I don't know every single result. But we asked consumers, where do you think programs are improving to date? Where have they improved? And we've got 6 key areas. And then we asked, and this is generic, where do they need to improve in the future? So this helps loyalty program marketers look at some key areas. Should we go through those?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first we looked at have communications improved around being more personal and relevant. Are there more moments of surprise and delight? And this is the Joyalty that we've now been loving so much. Oz, I know that you love Joyalty and you are my Joyalty person, but this is the beginning of surprise and delight. Are programs doing more of that or not? What about it? What else? Then it was our earn rate. That's fundamental. How quickly am I going to get to my rewards? We asked them that question about achievable. We asked the next one, technology use, has that improved? Mobile apps, payment integration, things like that. Simplicity, again, part of that process. Is it easy to join, easy and seamless to interact with? And then the last one, we looked at innovative rewards, not just financial discounts. Mm-hmm. So those 6 criteria, have programs improved to date, and where do they need to improve in the future? What were the results?
Okay.
So the order that came through on the study was, where have they improved so far to date? Earn rate has improved. Great. All the people in the audience here and online, if you've got programs, you're obviously putting more boosters in or helping people get to their rewards quicker. Fantastic. They see that. Technology, everybody's investing. Komo and so on, always investing in that technology piece. Simplicity seems to have come through at number 3. Non-financial rewards, surprise and delight, and comms. So there's room for improvement for some of those in the bottom, but do consumers actually think so? So where can they improve in the future? Well, there we go. So this is a guide for the future. Members want you to improve your programs. More Joyalty, please. More surprise and delight, please. Yes, that's my new thing is the loyalty program can now become a Joyalty program. I've got a whole white paper available for free if people want to read that. Non-financial rewards, what can you guys do to improve that? Comms, personalised and relevant. Those are the 3 that members want you to improve with.
Yeah, this is I've always been an advocate of surprise and delight, many years now. So I love this because it plays well into my sweet spot in terms of Komo now, being non-financial. So let's gamify the experience on what you're doing today, and we can just tweak it so it can cut out of the sameness, or the...
Oh, yeah. Getting out of the sea of sameness. Is that what you're looking for?
That's
right,
it.
Okay.
And I think also the fact that non-financial is a big opportunity in terms of soft rewards. So, yes.
So that's a guide. Once again, with the study, I guess one of the reasons why I do this study is to help you loyalty program marketers, be better. Do better with your program. Use some of these to ask your members, where do you think your program has improved to date? Where can your program improve in the future?
I guess the question I have is, it's great to understand where we need to improve, but have you got this data in terms of the results by generations and by gender?
You didn't prep me for that question.
Oh, yes.
But I have got it, but I have to look at my result. I can't remember every single one. So give me a sec, everybody online, while I wade through my 125-page report. Sorry, I just dropped that there. And I'll give you the stats on that one. Improve. I know I'm looking down and not at the camera. Yeah, Gen Z.
Absolutely.
They want more Joyalty.
Of course they do.
Significantly versus the population. So I know that if you look in the data, it's not only about the general population, but if you've got segments of the market that are more about your brand and your business and your program, they do react differently.
Okay. All right. So this is a much loaded question, which causes much debate in enterprises. So keen to hear.
Okay. So this question comes off the back of trying to identify strategic value dimensions of a loyalty program. So I get approached, we need a loyalty program, and I usually say why. And we go through the usual standard, go through the fundamental behavior change elements, but there are a whole range of reasons why brands have programs. But we ask consumers certain areas about how they change their behaviors and towards brands with programs. So it sets a scene around how they see their behaviors through the research. And so things that come through are things like, or areas like choosing between a brand that has a program versus one that doesn't. So there's a competitive advantage. Spending more, spending more often. That's what they say. They feel more loyal where there's a program. They recommend the brand where there's a program. So all good reasons to have a program. Now, those who understand and build programs would know that there's the cause and correlation impact, which is, does a program actually cause you to change your behavior versus, oh, yes, I spend a lot anyway, I might as well join the program. Well, that's correlating back to the original behavior. So it's interesting, but what's most interesting, what caught your eye in this question?
This next slide in particular. So I see more and more retailers taking advantage of the last customer touch point. I am absolutely a victim of my own profession. I will buy that sanitizer and those bits and pieces so I can buy the water bottle or buy the tote bag at a discounted rate. So spontaneous spend, double whammy from the retailers.
And I think that's exactly what you want from programs, is that incremental, that spontaneous spend. The status people who fly to Sydney just to keep their gold level or whatever it is, or you just spend that little bit extra. I mean, that's the behavior change you're looking for. And spontaneous spend in this result, when we went back, I think it was 2016, we asked the same question. People's behaviors doubled from their point of view, that they would spend that little bit extra just to earn points or maintain their benefits. And that's what we all want. So that was really interesting.
It was. So this is about building a team of loyalty champions. Now, I have always been an advocate of how do you get the whole of business involved in your loyalty program at every touch point, because you need an all of business, I think, approach so that you can realize the full potential of your loyalty program.
Again, another key area from my point of view is, and all the brands that I have the pleasure of working with, who've got a retail, or people at point of sale, how important are they for that moment of truth when you go in and are you a member, or, if they care or don't care about the program, or they're enthusiastic or they're not enthusiastic, or they've got that, those 10 words or less, this is why you should join now, make it easy. So for the first time ever, I ask consumers the impact or the influence that team members have on acquiring you as a member and engaging you in ongoing as a member. And we looked at 4 factors for influencing team members influencing customers to join. And the 4 factors were asking you to join, making it easy for you to join, in their enthusiasm and their knowledge. So those sound like 4 key pillars that you want to make sure that your team at point of sale really have. In 25 words or less, can they say it, or in 10 seconds, can they make it easy for you, tell you the benefits, and get you to join? And so the results, before we go to the next one, the results were actually very even across the 4 factors in terms of their influence. So the point is that you want to have them all. You want to make it easy, get them be enthusiastic and knowledgeable. I was looking for some big differences, but there weren't really significant differences. Okay, and the other was, you're already a member. Do the team members actually at point of sale make a difference to you engaging at that moment when you're already a member? And we looked at 3 elements here, and the 3 elements were identifying you. Hey, Oz, are you a member? Next one. Reminding you, hey, Oz, you've actually got $12 already, and you're only $3 away from that tote bag, right? So reminding what you've earned to date, and by the way, what's still there available for you. So the future, so past, future, the psychology in it, and can you do that in 25 words or less? And can the point of sale give you that data? Well, I'll leave it to all of the marketers. But the result was, members said yes. Members said that team members can influence them around engaging if they can remind them of the benefits that they've earned, as well as what's coming up. I think that's a great way to keep engagement at point of sale.
Awesome. Oh, I've gone backwards. One moment, please, operator. So, where are we?
Yeah, this is now the section about programs helping society.
Hot topic at the
And
moment.
improving the lives of members. Loyalty programs are points, perks, birthdays, all that sort of fundamentals. Always still working, but what can they do now to go bigger and better? What can they do to impact your life as a member? Can you help society through your membership? There are programs that are doing some great work with recycling and various other aspects. So we looked at 11 areas that a program could improve the life of a member and society. And some of them on the screen you might see, like live a healthier life. Can a program help you manage your mental health, simplify your life, make a little more joyful experiences? There's the Joyalty, resell and recycle products, reduce your carbon footprint, how to get the most from your purchases, shop smartly, help others less fortunate in community, shop more ethically, and purchase more eco-friendly products. Now remember, this is just a list that we came up with, just to get a sense of, do people actually care about themselves first, or do they care about society? So I know you can't do it online, but just in the room, by way of hands, what do you reckon? It's about myself, or is it about helping others? Okay, myself.
Yes.
For those online, you might not see, but it was almost 90%. Okay, so the result is actually exactly as you've said. All the benefits we put in there were self-orientation. How to get the most from my purchases, shop smartly to live within my means, simplify my life, live a healthier life, enjoy life with more joyful experiences, and then the rest are perhaps bigger societal issues or challenges. However, don't give up.
No.
Don't give up the good fight. We've got to keep helping, using programs to be bigger and better than just points and perks. Absolutely transactional, critical, but what else can we do? And that's my passion point for the moment.
Awesome. Oh, I love this next slide.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
I love this
All right,
slide.
all right.
I've been waiting for this slide. So Joyalty is all about, not me, but all about joy to loyalty programs.
Yeah. Well, Oz, since I've met you, you give me joy, right? So what I thought I'd do is I'd join your
See
fan
my
club.
way.
Yeah, and I get some joyalty together. I can't see anything, but I feel the joy. We've got a double brand going over here. But let me take them off so I can actually get through this little process. So joyalty is actually a word I found in a book called Brand Currency. I recommend you read it. It's somebody who worked at Amazon, but totally unrelated to loyalty programs. And I found the word, and then I redefined it for loyalty and loyalty programs. So the definition, as you can see, is your members' feeling of maximum joy and delight from one or a series of moments of magic. MOMS. It's easy to remember MOMS, delivered by your loyalty program. Yes, it's surprise and delight, but it's just another way of saying it because there's a much more of emotion in it. And that's what Joyalty is. So we put forward in our study, I think, 13 ideas around Joyalty. I'm not going to read all 13 out, but there are some standards in there that everybody knows who's got loyalty programs. Happy birthday gift or reward, a surprise gift for no reason, a little note gift chocolate in your delivery. There's a great brand out there that does that and has done that for a long time. It's not really a surprise, but people love it. Randomly receiving a purchase for free, and a few others that are on that list. So we got them to tell us what they found appealing. And how did they rank?
The reason why I love this slide is you take all of this, so that includes your pre-sales, that includes your tickets to events and experiences, that includes all your money can't buy experiences. And so you imagine all of this and then times that by 50 with the Komo capability. So a little plug there, just saying.
Okay. So moments of magic, MOMS. And what were the results? So the percentage indicate the unexpected moment of joy is how we positioned it. I didn't say Joyalty in this research, by the way.
That's okay.
I just kept it as unexpected moments of joy. Would you believe, and perhaps surprising, and a little bit disappointing for me, I thought there would be something else at the top, but the happy birthday is still what they want. They still want the happy birthday. However, can we do a bit better than just here's $5 if you spend 50? What can we do that's better to lift that birthday gift? But that's what they want. Randomly receiving a purchase for free, surprise gift for no reason. And there's some great examples in my purple paper from brands online here today in Australia who have done some really smart surprise and delight Joyalty to have delivered those. So I put it out there. We can do it. You just got to budget for it and work it properly.
Absolutely. So we're on to the last part of the, the insights that I had chosen. And it is quite topical in terms of the data breach. I know that's happened with 2 big brands. But what can you tell us about how customers feel about data?
Yeah, look, maybe it's good to end on this one because this is really important and, we talk about all the other maybe fun and interesting ones, but we've been looking at the data privacy and trust element with loyalty programs for almost every single study that I can remember, and a lot of tracking around that. But this year we put in the context of the data breaches to try and understand the impact on the value exchange. We've got a great industry here. There's a great turnout here today online. We've got a really strong industry, but data is at the core of every single loyalty program. So what are we doing to make sure we don't lose that trust with that? So we put forward 6 key areas of concern across to ask members how concerned they were with their value exchange, their data exchange with programs. So the questions were around who has your data, are you concerned, who gets your data, who has it, how secure the systems are, or what's the protection behind the data, who's using the data, how long are you holding onto the data, and why are you asking me for that data? So the who, the security, the protection, the use, the time, and the why were the 6 key areas that we asked them to tell us how concerned they were across those.
Well, we've got a poll on this one. So we're curious to see what you thought was the most concerning to customers. And then we can compare whether the report reveals similar stats.
All right, so the poll's showing 41% say the top is who has access, then it's reasons, why, then it's knowing how they're protecting it. So the rest are.
Oh, so we're not so concerned about security, or
it's going to most probably scroll up and down. Does it scroll up and down?
Yeah, it does. I think I can see it's moving. Ooh, it's becoming, I think it's on par with security, is knowing how protected against the system.
Okay, so we can't see the other results, but at the top three from this poll is who has access to your data is number one, the reasons your data is being requested, and the security. Well, it's quite different for consumers. The consumers are saying, number one, most very concerned about who. Which is actually it's the same.
The same.
Yeah, I didn't realize, yeah. Then number two is security, then protection, then use, then time and why. In fact, the order of what's on your screen was the order that came through on the results. However, the point is not to focus on the top three, to focus on all.
Yep.
So are your privacy policies, are your communication around your data value exchange with your members, are they covering all six and making sure your members get and understand who, security, protection, use, time, and why? That's
Awesome.
That's the call out on that one.
Well, this comes towards the end, and I guess this is only a portion of what's actually in the report, isn't it, Adam?
Well, as I mentioned earlier on, 125 pages, hundreds of insights. So there were, I don't think I said this, there were 9 sections. There they all are. I know it's small writing. 9 sections. Some we haven't even mentioned today. There's a whole section on NFTs, digital currencies, and where that may or may not go. There's a section on that's the metaverse. There's the 6 currencies. There's so much in this report. No matter whether you're starting a program, got a program, there's some great insights. There are 32 areas covered, 20 are new, 12 are benchmarking. Plenty to read.
The rocks.
Was that a prepared question?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Thank you for reminding me. The rocks. Why are the rocks? So every time I do this research, I think, what's my key image here? What's the key story? So for those of you who may or may not know, but I'll share my personal life online now, is I'm obsessed with building rocks at the beach because I draw them at home. And they've actually got a name. They've got a name. They're called cairns, C-A-I-R-N-S, and someone in our audience actually first time knows about those. Cairns, and I love them. Wherever I go, my daughter thinks I'm nuts. I build them, I draw them everywhere at the beach. And when I read about these, they're actually navigational tools. Out in the bush, when you're trekking, people build them to direct other people to a direction. However, there's another side to them. They actually lead you also in the wrong direction. So I thought, what a perfect metaphor for a strategy, for strategy as well as research, to give you some insights to help you go in the right direction, but also to keep you away from the wrong direction. And hence, these rocks are what is all about.
Awesome. Great colours of the rocks too.
Thanks. Oh, well, colours, joy.
Yeah. So any questions? Have we got questions, Anna? Oh, gosh, we've got questions. Wow. Okay. We have a question here. Adam, maybe you can refer in your report. Which brand does Joyalty the best, you think?
Oh, it's just a thing, because there's no survey in there about the branding.
These are just the questions.
It's just which question does Joyalty the best? That's putting me on the spot. It's all about at that moment. So I've got any number of examples that I can share, but there is a brand out there that has just won an award for what they call them wow moments. It's Pet Circle, and it is an Australian brand. And they have given their team people the opportunity to, when customers call in, to wow them with something without telling them what it is. And they won an award because of this and the number of interactions they got. So you can look up that case study. They won an award at one of the retail events. I'm not sure it's published on the website, but the point is it's really incredible what they've done with their moments of magic.
Awesome. We have a question from in the room. Have breaches in data security had any impact on customers' desire to join or continue sharing data with brands and their loyalty programs?
The answer is yes. In that one of the questions, and we didn't publish it today because we didn't talk about it, but there is a question around what I've called their confidence and their, with handing over their data loyalty program. And so there's a very tiny percentage, only 2% said, I'm never going to join a program, very small, but let's watch that figure next year and see what happens. But there is a confidence issue. They'll still hand over their data knowing they're getting a value exchange, but there's another cohort of groups called the concerned. So I've got the confidence, I've got the concerned, I've got those that will never give data anymore. And the concerns, I think, are around 20%. I can't get my figures straight off the top of my head, but you should look at that. It's in the study.
Right, we have another question out there. Do you have additional insights for omni-channel experience?
No.
No. Well, that's a good one for next year, because we are looking for
feedback. So whoever asks that
feedback.
question, maybe they can send me a little note to say what sort of question they want me to ask around omni-channel. What is the question there? What do they want to find out? So they can send me that note.
This one is very topical. How do you think loyalty programs have had to adjust to tackle macroeconomic issues such as cost of living?
Yeah. There is an absolute question in there in the beginning of the study, which is the impact on loyalty to brands through the economic uncertainty. 42% are what I call double clickers. They've dived into their loyalty program and are getting as maximum benefits as they possibly can. And for the big grocery, I'm sure they know they've got the data. I don't have, but my research study is saying is yes, I'm looking for savings now. I'm looking for a way I can reduce some costs. So that has really come through.
Well, here's a question from the US. What
US.
needs to change globally in loyalty programs to drive more value and participation for members?
Joyalty? Wow, that's such a big question. I think really there's so many angles we could handle. First of all, it's back to the strategy, but after strategy, it's about structure. And it's about your members. There's 6, in fact, in the report, there's the 6 currencies of collection that members care about. If you look through those 6 currencies, it's how do we move our members off the bottom of transactional back to experiential, utility and time, giving more choice, personal and making you feel special, all the way up to social community and things. So it's a blend and from a structure point of view, but what's the strategy is and who's the member base, I don't know. So, yep.
Here's another one. What are some of the non-financial rewards people would love to see?
What about you? You give me an idea.
Well, I think people like to see value in non-financial rewards like tickets, like experiences, whether that is just a cup of coffee. I think it can be as simple, or it may just be a gamified experience, how they receive their current $10 voucher. So I think there are ways to help upsell or cross-sell customers. You think of a spin to win, and you're able to present, here's some products you might like to try. So a different way, I guess, of presenting the cross-sell, upsell is what I'm talking about in terms of a little bit of joy that doesn't add costs. Okay, was there a difference between generations about whether they cared about benefits for themselves or society?
Wow, I'll have to dig into the report. Can you give me a second?
Oh,
and
yes.
I'll get the answer.
I'm curious to see if Gen Z.
All right, so oops, for your glasses, sorry. The question is around which area? Joyalty.
Around the social and.
Oh, yeah, okay, no worries. Society, okay.
'Cause,
So was there a difference? Yeah, okay,
yes.
great question. And the answer is, please hold caller. Gen Z, again, are significantly more interested in managing their mental health than the rest of the population. So they're more about that. Women are far more inclined to want, to be able to shop smartly and live within their means, much more than men. And men are significantly more interested in reducing the carbon footprint.
Wow.
Wow. Also,
Wow, that
like
was
I
a
read
wow
that
moment,
now.
wasn't it?
I've read it so many times, it doesn't sunk in, but there you go.
We have one last question here, which is, what conditions need to exist in your business for a loyalty program to make sense?
What conditions? Oh, I love that question.
Yes.
I just did a loyalty leaders interview with Ro Martin from the Rebel Active, and one of the questions she said, when I asked, when I was learning from her, she said, executive buy-in.
Oh my gosh.
My goodness.
Yes.
They so believe in their programs. It's everywhere. It's from the top all the way through. That is it fundamentally. If the leaders of the business believe,
Yes.
then the program will last a long time.
I think one insight that came out of my last webinar was from Alex Naseby from Sainsbury in the UK, and she said, make the finance director your best friend.
Yeah, I love that. Excellent.
So I like that one.
I love that one as well.
Yeah, very,
Good
very
one.
good. Now, there is something in your report that we didn't mention that absolutely disappointed me.
Oh.
And that was
Oh, this
around...
is not a prepared question.
No, it isn't, but it's an insight that we didn't get time to do.
Okay.
And it was around why customers thought loyalty programs existed. And I wanted the answer to be because brands wanted to make customers feel genuinely appreciated. And I was so disappointed to see that ranked last. So they don't believe we care about the customers. They genuinely believe we're just
In it for the money, not the love.
money. Yes,
That's right.
correct.
Yeah, that's a whole section itself, so we didn't get to that yet.
That's right.
Good pick up.
So if you're interested to know more about Joyalty from my perspective, feel free to book a demo. And I just want to thank everybody online for joining us today. This is a recorded session, so if you notice that I have one earring and looking like a pirate, it's because this thing is on here, and I'm very conscious of that. You probably don't care, probably didn't notice, but I just had to say that.
Love it.
Cool. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Oz. This has been
Thanks.
awesome. You're amazing, and honestly, thanks to the Komo team, very professional, and hopefully the people in the room here have got something, and all of you online got an insight and get the report.
Cool.
Do you want to
Thank
do the
you.
prize? Was that off?
Well, I think we're off. Yep, we're done. Okay.
Yes?
Are we done?